Hey everyone, Steven here, and welcome to my little library of horrors. Well, another video. Yeah, I really wanted to get my March wrap-up video out before it gets too far into April, so things have just been kind of busy, so we ended up getting a really massive snowstorm last week. We got 2 feet of snow, and then last night we got another foot. So, yeah, it's just been like a lot of shoveling. Things have been crazy, and, I've had the kids home a lot from the snow days and stuff, so. But now that I got the time, I figure I'd get it out of the way now. So, yeah, this month was actually surprisingly pretty well. Um, I didn't really get to go to too much bookstores this month. Like I said, just because of the weather and stuff, it's been hard to get out. But I did get to one and did all right. Well, two technically, I should say, and did pretty good actually. So it was one I did all right. The other one I did really well at. So, anyway, um, yeah, let's get into it. So I guess I'll start off with the second one I went to that I didn't do fantastic in. But anyway, um, the first one I picked up was The Vampire, the Werewolf, and Other Gothic Tales of Horror by John Polidori and others. So yeah, that looked pretty interesting. Yeah, so it's a short story collection. Let's see. What's it got in here? Yeah, it looks like there's a couple of anonymous entries and some other authors I'm not really familiar with. There's John Polidori, Clemens Haussmann, Edward Bulwer Lytton, Isaac Crookenden. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Never heard of it, so figured why not. So the next two are kids' books, but I like to grab books for my kids, and I really like having, just kind of like having them in my library. They're very nostalgic for me, and that's how I started reading was through kids' books. So I just kind of like how they make me feel while they're in here. But the first one I got was My Creature Teacher by Laura. Jeez, I'm not even gonna attempt that. And then illustrated by Scott Nash. Definitely pretty interesting. Like I already love the illustrations. Like super cool. Like you know, I always love like I love children's illustrated monsters, because it's just so fun, like I love the design here. Like that's just awesome. Like his shirt's like covering his nose and that's his mouth. Like I just love stuff like that. I think it's like just a lot of fun. I think with obviously with children's books you get to be a lot more creative and free as far as how you get to portray the monsters in that book. So, I know horror offers a lot of freedom in that, in a sense, in a way, but I feel like as you aim more towards a more adult audience, you kind of have to have that scarier image, I guess. But, anyway, the last one is Grumbles from the Forest, Fairy Tale Voices with a Twist. I grabbed it honestly because I really love the cover. Like, it's just super cool. I've always loved dragons, and yeah, and I've always loved fairy tales since I was a kid. So, but yeah, so that was the first thrift store. I guess we can start with the second one. So starting off is A Treasury of American Mystery Stories. And it's 51 gripping tales of murder, suspense, and other mayhem from every state in the Union and Washington, D.C. So, pretty sweet cover. I really love the cover. Like, I've always enjoyed this style of art. I know there's like that famous painting with like the farmer and his wife on the front. I really wish I could remember what that style was called. I don't want to throw a word out there and, sound dumb. But do I want to say it's like American Gothic? I guess. I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I have no clue, but that's my guess. But I think it's pretty cool that there's a story from every single state in the U.S. from this. So that's honestly pretty awesome. Um, I know I have another book somewhere that has I think it's like 50 stories from 50 different countries. So I always really like stuff like that, seeing how other countries kind of portray horror. So maybe that'll be a video idea, actually. I think that's a good one. I'll have to write that down. Next up is When the Bow Breaks by Jonathan Kellerman. I have the paperback. As a matter of fact, let me see. It's got to be here somewhere. Here it is. Haha. Yeah. Look at that. So yeah, I knew I had the paperback, so when I saw the hardcover, I was like, oh yeah, definitely gonna grab that. Yeah, it looks like it was from the library of Dorothy A. Kotarba, which is pretty cool. It's got like a nice, I don't know if you can really see it. There we go. Huh, that's pretty nice. I should get something like that for some of my books. Let's see. Next up, this one I loved. This was like such a cool find. It's the Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. But, minus the fact that I was gonna get it anyway, when I looked inside, I'm gonna have to take the dust jacket off for this, so I don't rip it. It looks like it was a gift to an English teacher. You can see all the signatures from the kids. You know, it even has her library right there. So, yeah, like, I think that's so cool. Like, you know, and again, that's just another big reason why I love secondhand books, because you find just, like, the history behind them is just so cool. You know, they can come from literally anywhere in the world. And, you know, they're gifts. And, you know, I love it. Like something like that is just so, like, I think is even better than finding, like, a rare book, you know? Like, obviously it's cool finding a rare book and adding it to the library, but, like, stuff like this, I think, is what makes a library unique, in my opinion. A personal library, I think that's what makes a personal library unique, in my opinion. Stuff like that. Let's see. Next up, I want to bang out some of the not horror books I got from this trip, but not many, I promise. But first up is The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's always a tongue twister for me. Yeah, I love Sherlock Holmes. I always pick up his books when I see it. I always love a good mystery. I always have since Encyclopedia Brown when I was a kid. So, next up is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Pretty cool. Always got to grab Bradbury when you see it. And last of that is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Yeah, I read this and it was really interesting. It's a very, very, very good book. Highly recommend checking that out. Okay, so on to the more what you came for here. So let's see. First up, I got these copies of The Gunslinger by Stephen King. I picked this up just because I'm going to sell it. I already have a copy of this, and, you know, I always pick up doubles just in case to trade or sell to buy other books that I need. But I don't believe I actually have a paperback of this, which really surprised me when I went to check my shelves and everything. Yeah, turns out I didn't have a copy of this, but now we do. So I was really happy about that. Let's see. Next up is Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. I've never seen the film, nor have I read the book, but my uncle said he read it when it first came out, and it terrified him and said it gave him nightmares for a month. So I'm definitely excited to check that one out. Let's see. Next up is The Green Mile by Stephen King. Again, one I did not have. And I think this is one of the only hardcovers I'm still missing from, like, his mainline releases. Like, I, for some reason, can never find a hardcover of The Green Mile. At least not out in the wild. But I really enjoy this cover. I think that's pretty cool for a more modern cover. Oh, and look at that. It says soon to be a major motion picture. I wonder when this was published. Let me see. Oh, it's a first printing, March 1999. Cool. Let's see. Next is Four Past Midnight by Stephen King. Very Stephen King heavy trip this time. But like I said, I always pick his book ups to trade or sell just in case. I'm pretty sure I have a copy of this already, so that'll be a double for me. Well, that's it for the Kings. Let's see. Next, I found Disappearance at Devil's Rock by Paul Tremblay. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm actually listening to the audiobook of this right now, funny enough, and I did not have a copy of this, so super excited to have found it for a good price, didn't have to pay full price for it. And, yeah, stay tuned for that review. So I'm just at the tail end of it now. I think I've got 2 hours left, I think, so I should be finishing that soon. Next, I got Classic American Ghost Stories that was edited by Deborah L. Downer. So, pretty cool cover for sure. Definitely like that. Let's see what's inside. Yeah, so it's basically just a bunch of, looks like a collection of stories. Yeah, from New England, the Great Plains, the South, and Pacific Northwest. Cool. Let's see. This one was really interesting that I found. This was cool. So this is called Return to the House of Usher by Robert Poe. So, I'll just read why this was super interesting to me. This is exactly why I picked it up. My name is John Charles Poe, and I am the descendant, via the bar sinister, of the immortal Edgar Allan Poe. Family lore has it that at the age of 18, while he was in the army, Edgar Allan fell passionately in love with a woman named Laura Crowley when he was stationed near her home. Laura gave birth to his illegitimate son, Montgomery Crowley, who founded this town of Crowley Creek and was also my ancestor. The details are all in the casket documents, which each of us Poes must read in our turn. Great-grandfather changed his name from Alexander Crowley to Alexander Poe when he inherited the casket and read, among other things, the heartrending tale of my ancestress Laura. My father told me the story, but I don't think I understood its significance for our family until I inherited the casket. So, that just sounds freaking awesome. Like, a descendant of Poe writing essentially a sequel to The House of Usher. So, I mean, I definitely got to get to this. I have to read this. It's got, I will be so disappointed if it's not good. I guess I have to go in with the expectations that it's not Edgar Allan Poe actually writing the story. So, that's going to be hard for me to break. But, I'm going to try. So that was it for my thrift store finds. The last few I have here were all online purchases. But, nothing wrong with that. Well, technically this next one was not an online purchase. This is Orphans of the Adercosm by C.F. Page. Now, this was sent to me by the author in exchange for a review, so I'm currently working on that. So that'll be another future video coming very shortly. I'm about halfway through and I'm really enjoying it so far, but I don't want to say too much. But, yeah. So, there we go. Okie dokie. So, the first few I got here, I got in a bundle for a really good deal. I think it was like $40 for all of these, so it wasn't really that bad at all. But first up is Hellstone by Stephen Spruill. And that is just an epic cover. Kind of got like the creature from the Lac Lagoon hands going on here. The nice red eyes. Another Playboy press. I didn't realize that until it came in. So pretty excited about that. It's another one down off that list. Next up is The Ridge by Lisa W. Cantrell. Pretty nice cover. I like that. There we go. Next up, we have Evil Offspring by J.N. Williamson. I always love like creepy forest or wood aesthetics on covers, especially like this is like something I've just always kind of liked is like the row of trees with like an eerie light at the end kind of thing. Um, Back where I used to live, there was this cemetery that had like pretty much exactly like this. Like during the fall, obviously the trees would be bare, but it was just this huge like path that led into the cemetery that was like it was beautiful like when the leaves were on and it was fall, but like it was creepy like more during the winter. During the winter it was definitely pretty creepy. But yeah, I really really love that cover. And then the last out of that was The Gatekeeper by Dana Reed. Nice creepy kid cover. Can never go wrong with those. So that was cool. Alrighty, so the next few were single purchases. This one is The Neighborhood by S.K. Epperson. And I just love that cover. Very much love that cover. Very reminiscent of Stay Out of the Basement by R.L. Stine. And yeah, if you know me, small town horror is right up there as one of my all-time favorite subgenres ever. So love this. Love this. And it's like in almost unread condition. It's really nice. Next up was definitely one I got for a really good deal. And, because I've seen it go for a pretty good amount of money. So I feel like I got a good condition copy for the price that I paid for it, which I'm very excited about. I'm actually reading now, and it's pretty intense, actually. But it is Grizzly by Will Collins. And it's the novelization of the film, which I've never even heard of the film or anything like that, but yeah, I'm actually working on this as well, so this will also be a review. So I will save most of my thoughts so far for that review, because I don't want to say too much. But the cover's freaking gorgeous. I love it. Absolutely love it. Get in a little closer there. Yeah, absolutely beautiful cover. And last, but absolutely not least, is a book that I have wanted for a long time now. It's a book that I first saw in Paperbacks from Hell, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I need that in my collection. Like, I absolutely need that book. And but it's always hovering around like the $80 or $90 price range. So it's like, do I really want to spend that much for a book that I do have the possibility of finding out in the wild? It's just, more on the rare side than it would be, on the uncommon side. But one day, funny enough, as I was posting on Instagram and I had just finished, the first thing that popped up on my feed was this book for sale. And the condition was great. The price was unbeatable. And I just hopped right on it. And I'm so happy to finally have this in my collection. If you've seen my community posts, you probably know what it is. But for those who haven't, it is Isabel by Jane Parkhurst. And I mean, just look at this gorgeous cover. Absolutely stunning. Genuine work of art on this cover. Absolutely beautiful. And it has step back art. Just look at that. Unreal. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it has a couple stamps in it, but you know what? It's on the inside. I don't care. The cover's beautiful. Um, and like I said, for the price, it just couldn't be beaten. So, big shout out to Books from the Basement 1 on Instagram. I'll make sure I tag them. I'll leave their handle in the description of the video. So definitely go check them out. Great prices on their selection. Um, yeah, huge selection, great prices. The shipping was very fast, packaging was excellent. So big shout out to them for this. Definitely go check them out because I'll just give you one more look at that. That is just, ooh, that is beautiful. But yeah, that wraps it up for my pickups for March. A lot better than I expected, to be honest. Like I said, I added a lot of really nice gems, some unexpected finds, and, even some really sentimental finds. So, not a bad month at all. Um, April, again, I will say, like I always do, I don't foresee it being a super uh, big pickup month just because it's my son's birthday this month, so we're getting him a new computer for his birthday, so that's going to be pretty expensive. So yeah, pickups will probably be on the minimum side unless my shop sells a little more things, but even if not, I have a couple videos planned. I have some reviews ready to go. I'm working on my next like non-review related video. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it for me today, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody, liking, subscribing, and just hanging out with me. So yeah, I will see you all in the future. Later.